Hey everyone, this is the Kubeflow community call for the 21st of April 2026. We're a CNCF project. Please be nice to each other, follow the rules. As always, we like to start off by explaining how you join the other meetings. If you're watching this one on YouTube or if you're just stumbled into this meeting somehow, the way you find it is by going to the kubeflow.org website, clicking community at the top or on the sidebar, scrolling down and finding the community calendar, which is this link here. You can also download the iCal, but that gives you all of them. So if you click this one here, you can register for any meeting. Not every meeting is every week. So make sure you look through the list of meetings that exist here and find the appropriate one. So say you wanted to register for the SDK call, you click here, you click register, and then once it loads, you put your email in here and it sends you an invite just like it's a person sending you an event. But make sure that if you're on Google, you accept the foreign sender or remote sender, whatever it's called, so that it actually shows up in your calendar. And then from that point forward, if there's a change in the event, say someone reschedules it, you'll get the update and then you get everything sent to your calendar. It's great. And you don't have to subscribe to all of them like you used to. Other than that, if you want to join the Slack server, we have a Slack server on the same page. Go to this blue button here, click join the CNCF Slack. If you're already in the CNCF Slack, or once you join, make sure that you join to the channels which are for Kubeflow. So you don't have to join all of them, but recommend joining announcements at least, and then whichever component that you work on or work with. And we always welcome chats there from both normal, like non-developers and end users as well. It's great. If you have any, and so other than that, I think the first thing we should always talk about if there's a release pending is the release. So Tarek, do you want to quickly give an update?
Yes. So yesterday we had the Kubeflow AI reference platform release meeting. So we were discussing the 2603.1. These are the proposed candidates to be in the next sync. So the trainer 2.2 and the model registry 0.3.8, they are already there in the manifest, so this work is completed. There are three requests, one for the dashboard 2.0 notebook.
No, that one's already merged. This one's already merged.
This one's merged. Okay.
And that one's merged too, actually. But the difference is that they're on release candidates right now because they're both breaking changes in some form. So we just need to cut the final if we're happy. Well, actually, this one has one more. I'll tell about this one in a second. But this one I don't think is merged, or if it was merged last night, then let me check.
Okay.
But yes, sorry.
Yeah, and KServe 0.17.1. This is also when we checked yesterday, at least it was not yet merged. So this was the meeting points from yesterday.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's our next steps there? So have we got a release time planned?
Not for the point one. We want to ensure that at least the dashboard notebooks are also part of the next release as well. KServe, there were some things that the KServe liaison will reach out to the folk in KServe to get some more details specifically about some security patching that was needed. So more details about 0.17 yet to come. But the important thing is that since there is no rush now for the 26031, we need to ensure that those components are there in the next sync.
Yep. So my only thing is to make sure that you don't accidentally cut with the RCs. We've done that a couple of times.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's not I'll say from just my opinion, there's not yet fully merged because we still have the RC. Maybe we when we have 26031 RC, that should be fine. But yeah, before
that's fine. Actual, yeah. So that's usually what we used to do when we had a period where we had a lot of testing.
Yeah.
That some of the components that we thought might not be ready yet, we had RCs. That's kind of to be clear, you can release a patch release of your component as well. It's just that these happen to be the first releases out of new repos, so we didn't want to, it was just a little bit different than normal.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's fine. Like I mean we can have the 2603 one RC one, so that should be okay. There was also one question I think regarding the notebooks image.
Yeah, that's the
So
one part
Chris,
that, yeah, uh, that's what I was about to say. Like there is still not in current RC. Like there's a new version of PyTorch that just came out and we want to update it, and also a bunch of other things as well. So, and also the SDK as well.
exactly. So main question is also that the new version of SDK also would be nice to have it included.
Yeah,
Yes.
we will. We definitely will. It's just been a matter of trying to get everything else across the line at the same time as doing it. But yes, but I'd love it if we could set a date on the intended first release candidate at least, so that we can work towards it.
Yeah, that we haven't specified because now the for I'll say there's no rush as I mentioned, like
I
so
think there's a
the
little
important
bit,
thing.
right? Because we want people to
Uh,
update to this version because I think there's a couple of issues people have run into with the old dashboard.
okay, but what would be like a proposed timeline from your working group
I mean, so
since
we're
it's
pretty much ready for everything except the PyTorch image. Well, there's some debate around this PR, but this is just, I think there's, Julius wanted some tests or something. There's more
okay?
tests. So. Even though this is not really a released thing, so I think you could argue that it just doesn't need tests, but you know what I mean? I think it's kind
Well,
of.
yeah, it needs to be yeah, at least the basic pipeline was yes. But I mean, what would be like how long do you think maybe would that
I mean,
take?
let's try
And
and
if you
cut the
need,
first RC as soon as next week, maybe. You know what I mean? Like this
Mhm.
weekend, or I think Julius likes to do them over the weekend. So just so that we can have an
Okay,
RC out there, I think. But I mean, Julius is make that call, not me. So
okay. But for the notebooks, the 2.0 alpha,
well, that's
maybe
already
that
done.
we
This is all already done. It's just that there was some debate around having a test or something, like having some tests, but the product isn't
okay.
finished yet, so it's kind of like unclear. I mean, I
Hmm.
agree with the sentiment of having the test. I do just worry that it might encode stuff about the current state of the product. You know what I mean? Like
Okay,
that.
should it be like an experimental? We also had this experimental in the manifests.
Oh no, so this is fully going to replace Notebooks V1. And so this is just a normal application, but we're just talking about a test, like like a
Hmm.
unit test, not an integration test. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. He wanted to have at
Hmm.
least one integration test in the repo.
Okay,
That's what I'm
okay.
saying. We have our own integration test as well, but anyway,
Hmm.
that's
So
fine.
should we aim for maybe I can think with the Julius about the RC one, but we aim
Yes.
like
So let's
next
assume
week.
this will get merged in the next day. Let's say. I'd say that this,
Hmm.
unless there's, I mean, I'm just, anyway, we don't need to talk about it on the call. Let's just move on. So
Okay. Yes.
so if we can get a date, that's the next step, I'd say there.
Hmm.
And so
Okay.
the
Cool.
blog for the existing one, we do need to talk about though.
Yeah, exactly. So Danisha, I'm not sure if she's in the call.
I'm
Yeah, so maybe you can go through like your proposal yesterday.
mhm. So I've just created a draft for now, and I'm just collecting. I've just added all the details for the current release for the components, and I'm also like collecting features and highlights for each of the components release.
So the most important thing
Mhm.
from our side and the notebooks is that you
Mhm.
highlight the slightly strange slightly strange situation with the fact that there's a breaking manifest change, not a user breaking change, but a breaking manifest
Mhm.
change in the patch release, which is we decided was worth doing. But what that means is people are going to ask, how is V2 in this version? You know what I mean? So make sure that
Mhm.
we address that, and then what you have to do as an admin, or at least point them to the right place. Don't necessarily explain it.
Okay. And is it for both a dashboard and notebook or just notebook?
Um, V1 is not a breaking change, no.
Okay.
But it should be addressed. So, but we did talk about this as well, actually, which is it should
Mhm.
highlight that this is the last release of V1. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
Okay.
there'll be security releases, but nothing else, like
Mhm.
and that we are very close to being ready to have a beta or of V2. Obviously, alpha is
Okay.
out, but it's alpha is very alpha, if you know what I mean. Like, so it's not safe to be used in production, to be very clear for everyone listening.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, great. Then yeah, for the release video, as discussed in the previous community call, that we will go with recording of the release team meeting, and then that's what will be used as the we'll go through the slides. So also Danisha will help with
How close are the
coordination of the
slides to being
slides.
done?
Danisha, maybe like to.
This is also a draft, like I think we have just copied it from we 1.11 version and just updated few slides. So as I complete a blog, I'll also update the slides.
So are we gonna the blog pull request, did that start from like a Google Doc? Because sometimes we start from like a Google Doc. It makes it easier for people to comment their changes.
Okay.
Um, do we want to create a Google Doc? I mean, even if it's like, or is this just sufficient? Or was this based off something already?
I don't have a Google Doc. I mean, I just created this draft with
Oh, actually, it's
all the
probably
details from,
fine. If we structure it
yeah.
like this, it's probably fine. But people need to actually put their, I don't know why. Oh, actually, wait, this only says security though. We probably want to put a note about, we need to have a section for each component that's not just security. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no, that is triple hash. Sorry. So it would be, right? We do have one.
Yeah, it's This is based on the previous blog for the Kubeflow 1.11.
This definitely needs to be split though, if we could split this up. But yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, I would also argue maybe we should even have V1 and V. Let's just do notebooks on its own, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah, cool. So what this means is that to get this merged, which we need to probably timeline with the 1 point release. Are we going to do that, or are we going to release it before then? That's the question for you guys.
I think we discussed that it would be in the same blog here. That would be like for the 2603 and then 26031, and then for like
The
so
same
it's like a
blog or
live
two
update.
different blogs?
Same blog, but different sections in it.
So how are you going to structure it then? Sorry.
So it's like 2603, and then all the components updated from the previous release 111, and then like a new section that would be 26031, and then only the diff. So it's always the diff. Or that what discussed yesterday.
Okay. Hopefully it doesn't get confusing to read, but okay. Because we can just make two blogs. Blogs are free. Or if we want to publicize only one blog, then I think we should have it be the patch release. I mean, like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is that like if it's 2603.1, then maybe people think that no, this is like just patch release, right?
So then we need to address it. All I'm just saying is we don't need to solve it today on the call, but I'm just saying we need to address it in the wording so that it's very clear if we're only going to have one blog that you should use the patch release, but it does have a significant difference. And the differences are this, because we did cut a non-patch release. And so you can maybe I would explain it right after this note here, and maybe link this to actually the proposal as well, by the way.
Okay.
Cool. And then what was that in one note? Okay, cool. Let's move on. So what's the next steps for this then?
Just the website update that Dominic and Danisha will help there as well. Next step would be maybe that I need to sync with Julius, but we do cut the 26031 or C1 probably next week.
Okay, cool. Let's get confirmation on that and then tell everyone to update the slides and not slides, the blog. Cool. Okay, Andre, do you want to, any more comments about that, Tarek? Or anyone else?
No, that's all for the release for me. Thank you.
Okay, Andre, do you want to go to the graduation thing?
Yeah, definitely. So I think as we announced last week or week before last week, we have some updates from CNCF. So they pick up our application, they start to do due diligence. So the good thing for us, because we completed the
tech review.
Yeah, tech review. Yeah, you're right, Matthew. But tech review in July, The first step is complete for us, which is definitely good. And thanks, George and others for pushing for this. So I guess the next steps we're going to sync with the Ciencia folks this Wednesday to actually, like you call bootstrap the process and do other things. I guess the government's review is optional, but they will probably do this async. I don't know if some require from us, but I will keep it posted. I think maybe the good next steps for now would be to reach out to end users because, like, if I remember correctly, we have maybe 5 to 6 end users who um, fill the form, right, to provide an interview. Maybe just, heads up to them and say, hey, like soon Urgensia will reach out to you. Do you have any blockers? Are you willing to still give us, feedback? That will be helpful so we can move fast because usually this is the most kind of time-consuming process.
Do we get so it doesn't need to be public, because remember it's just privately to the talk. But the
Yeah,
question is, do we
organizations.
get a diverse
Yeah.
group of people for that?
Yeah, so organizations can decide whether they want to do public or private.
Sure.
Yes, but it should be done. And sometimes, especially, some organizations might require a legal review. So my asks here, like, to just reach out to those end users and just, tell them if you're going to find any blockers to have this interview, right?
I mean, it's in the end, as I said, because you can do it privately. If your company would normally require a legal review, maybe the best step is not to try and do it publicly.
Yeah, but sometimes even private review is prohibited.
Okay,
So
sure, sure.
yeah, so I mean, sometimes you might have legal review, which might take a couple of months. So again, it will
But that's
definitely.
probably too long for us to do it. So probably we need to make, because I think we got confirmation from some people, right? All I'm trying to say
Yeah,
is
but
that for the ones who gave us confirmation, we should make sure that they represent more than just a couple of components. You know what I mean? Like that,
yeah,
yes. Yeah.
I think we have a diverse group there. My only kind of worry that's because we've done this in July,
Yeah.
things changing and moving fast. So just want to ensure we don't see any blockers there.
Is the SDK represented at all? It's too new at the time of July, right?
We didn't have an SDK release,
Yeah.
right? By June. So
I mean, SDK also isn't technically in the list, I think, right?
yes.
Yeah. It's just, I guess it's part of trainer, I guess, kind of. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, Akash, I can definitely share the list. I think we have this public Slack channel, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyway, what's our next steps then? So do we
Yeah, like
we don't
I
need to
know.
name them here, but do we have the list of people we're going to reach out to?
Yes, like and also like for example, like Akash, you, if I remember correctly, try to reach out to Oracle. I think it will also be good for you to let us know like what is the step, what are our days there. Because I
And
think yeah. Mhm.
yeah, actually, I want to talk about. So I actually reached out to few people from my like sister teams, but apparently we had a very big layoff. So a lot of teams are like here and there, and at least I was informed not to like as an Oracle employee not to share these information. So I think what I can suggest as an independent person, like I'm sure Chase and you, like you might know a few Oracle senior people. So I think best bet would be directly contact from their side instead of me, because last time I tried reaching out, at least the person who was responsible, they told me they are not entertaining any such a like request, at least from internal employees. For example, I cannot ask them to do that operation. So I think
So
better would be if you, like as a maintainer or a KC member, you, Chase or Matthew, you can reach out to people whom you know similar who are in Oracle. I'm pretty sure you might know few people. I think
so my
that will
question for you is what part, I mean, this is not a conversation for the call. Let's talk about this offline. But like, is it because Oracle's a big company, right? So I'm just trying to figure out which part of it you were wanting to do the talk.
I'll share maybe after this
Yeah,
call. So
maybe
there is like
DM that offline. Yeah.
yeah, they maintain a public repo. I think you can reach out to one of them.
Okay.
I'll share those details.
Okay, so other
In the
than that one,
application, yeah.
I thought we were kind of working on the assumption that that one wasn't going to happen. So we have enough without them, right?
Yeah, so my recommendation to always have, like some backup plans. So like, it's better to reach out to more organizations because I would imagine, some people left companies and, maybe they switch companies over the, past 6 to 7 months.
More people have added themselves publicly to the adopters list as well. So we should probably reach out
Yeah.
to some of them.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, if anyone here on the call want to help us with it, that will be super, I mean, that will be really helpful. I will ask Chase of Oracle, but any other, if you can reach out to any organizations who can help us to give an interview to CNCF, that definitely will be helpful.
I feel like CERN might be a reasonable one actually, because they've publicly talked about it before.
Yep.
And then some of these other ones I won't name them, but like they're might be we should
I also have few
yeah. Cash. Yellow.
Yeah, sorry, the noise. I have few people who reached out to in India last KubeCon, and it was like two banks from India. I may try with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I see one of the Indian companies, Geo. I think two of the banks also reached out to us. They asked few questions. I may reach out to them, like you're asking if they can maybe help, or like maybe just share that they use Kubeflow internally in their organization.
We'll definitely ask them to add themselves to this list if they're using a component or overall platform. But
Sure.
we should, Andre, do we still have that contact form? Do we want to make another, send it to a couple more people, or do we?
Yeah, actually, it's a good point. Let me 1 second.
Don't publishly do it, just like
Yeah, I understand. I think I will ask Facila like if we can still use the same Jira form we had before. And I will, like just maybe put this Jira form to our public Slack channel so we can follow up.
Yeah, because there's going to be more people now as well. So like, let's just make sure that we get a couple, make sure that I think we only need 3, right? So
I think we need 7 or 5.
7? Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So definitely like, 5 to 7. And, like, again, because there are a lot of layoffs and, some people, we need to have a lot of backup plans. So actually, if you know some folks from India who are actually using Kubeflow tools, definitely reach out to them.
Specifically ask them which tools they use as well, so that we can kind of make sure that we get a diverse group.
Yeah, I think I have a few contacts on Slack. I'll share it. I'll like right away if they're willing to do that.
Cool. And we should reach out to those ones who have recently added themselves to the adopters list. So other than that, Andre, what's the next step?
No, let me definitely sync. I mean, this Wednesday, let me sync with the CNCO folks, with some TOC members, and we will discuss the next steps. And I guess they will probably do. As I said, like 2 weeks ago, it might require some changes for us to do on the website, on the governments and other documents. So my only ask is we need to move fast here. So let's try to allocate our efforts in this area, right? They didn't guarantee me that they were going to graduate it by KubeCon NA. Because like there are other applications in flight, but let's see what we can do.
We gotta try. Okay. So other than that, thanks for everyone working on that. Any other topics on this that we need to talk about graduation? No, yes. Anyone? Okay. As always, I just like to highlight we've got a new AI policy. We haven't really started enforcing it yet, but working groups should start trying to put it in their notes and information of their repos around these points, mainly around disclosure. Right now, obviously, I haven't seen a lot of people disclosing their use of AI when it's sometimes pretty clear. So we should start trying to call people on that, being like, hey, please add the commit message, and any other things as well, like, make sure that you test your PRs, don't just raise PRs without testing them locally and understand your PRs. These kind of things are really important to maintain the project and grow contributors who actually know the code that they contribute. To be clear, you're allowed to use AI, just have to understand what you're raising. Okay. Cool. Notebooks 2.0 update. I'm gonna do that later. So GSOC, the update here, I think, Ramesh, is that this is the day we're sorting them. I think we're pretty much done and we're about to submit that. So then your people will find out who's been accepted on April 30th. So that's in like 9 days. Cool. Ramesh, yes?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for everybody's efforts in there. Yeah, I think we are at least in the final stretch of it. It seems like I got all the answers that I've required. So thank you very much. Yeah, April 30th would be announced. Any students are here, watch out for the emails from the GSOC itself.
Cool.
And you will be notified there.
And if you don't get selected, you can still contribute, as always. Like, you don't have to, like, mentoring obviously takes time for mentors, so don't expect to be mentored without it. But we do always, like, being a reliable contributor is always valuable in some form, like just attending the meetings, finding issues that are small if you need small issues and working on them, and you'll slowly build up your knowledge of the code base in various areas. Yeah, there's hundreds of people applied, so just because you didn't get selected doesn't mean you weren't good, is what I'm saying. I think it was thousands, actually. I don't even know how many total, right? It was a lot.
We had about almost 400 plus proposals
Cool.
across 12 different projects. But our overall GSOC strength was close to probably 1,000 people. So 400 people. I mean,
okay, cool. Yeah.
Some folks applied for multiple, but I mean, I would say anywhere from 250 to 300 students for sure.
Cool. Thanks for everyone who's been working on it. I know it's always the hard part is the work, obviously, but it is always a logistical challenge to get it all across the line as well. So thank you for everyone's work there. Any other comments, Ramesh?
Nope, that's good.
Awesome.
Just watch out for the emails from GSOC next.
Amazing. Okay, I think this was just saying that if someone wants to submit a term to your project for the LFX thing, you can do that as well. But I think people were quite busy there. So did someone have their hand up? Sorry. Or is that just okay? Okay. I don't know what's going on with this. Sorry. I think this was actually last time. I think we talked about this already. So that's from last week. Okay, Valentina or someone else KubeCon related. We should probably quickly go through these.
Is Tina in the call, or I can take it? Check.
Let's try and go through all these.
Yeah, I mean, so we will have a meeting with CNCF coordinators this Friday to get more details about the event's timeline and how can we be notified in the right time so that we don't miss those sort of important dates, so that we can get the project pavilion if it's KubeCon and so on.
Did we get a project pavilion? So let's if we're talking about North America 2026, so did we get a kiosk this time, or have we applied?
That will also be one of the discussion points, because they said like the deadline is already passed. I think they offered another option, which is this CNCF theater.
Oh no, so that's the cloud native. That's the co-located event situation. I mean, the project.
Okay, the project pavilion. You mean the kiosk, the booth, right?
I don't want to miss that deadline if that one hasn't already.
Yeah, exactly. So that will also be one of the information that we will get during Friday call. Yes, and hopefully we apply if the deadline has not passed. Yes.
Okay, yeah, and what we're talking about just before is that we seemingly somehow missed the co-located event proposal deadline, and there's probably no way to fix that for this event, but we should fix it for future events. And also they offered this as an alternative, and I guess you guys will give an update after that meeting.
Exactly. Yes.
Amazing. Thanks for that. Always, I know these things are difficult. Let's try and figure out how to make it better next time. So the CFPs are open. So if you're planning to submit a Kubeflow related talk and you need someone to review or something and have a really good chance of getting in, I'm sure that the maintainers of the component you're talking about would love to see your feedback on your talk. Okay, buy tickets. They're cheaper right now. Okay, for the other KubeCons though? So KubeCon EU, I think we just published, the recordings are published. So look at them on YouTube. India, Akesh?
Yeah, I think we discussed last week. So both is confirmed. We are happy to host and welcome everyone. We have good number of volunteers as well, so I'm just waiting for that. Our talk didn't get in. It is waitlisted. I'm assuming I don't think it will go, but yeah, fine. By the way, we have another talk for Q, like just 1 day prior in Open Source Summit India. So yeah, I mean, we are welcome. Like people who are attending, we are welcome to attend that. Apart from that, I think from as a Kubeflow side, we are sorted. I mean, both is confirmed. Everything's set up. We have enough number of volunteers. Maybe I think last 2 or 3 weeks before KubeCon, I'll update what exactly plan or timing we have. Apart from that, I think we are fine.
Awesome. Anything you need from anyone? Nothing, I guess, then?
Nope, I think few swags like CNCF told they will be providing. Other details also they will be providing, so I think we are fine.
Okay.
Just to confirm, I mean, I'm sure other coupon maintainers can confirm. Does CNCF provide like stickers or other parts?
They usually do, but
fine.
I think
Then
if you need
that's
to
what.
bring your own, you can bring your own if you wish, but there's a lot of people at these events. So
Then yeah,
if you
that's
have a
what.
booth, usually you should bring your own stickers. I think we did that last time. But they do usually have like a sticker bar, I think they called it.
Yeah, at least in KubeCon EU, that was the case. We were there was like a separate place that folks can collect some stickers. So we didn't have that much in our booth itself, but
because in NA 2025 we did have some from the booth, but I think they were provided by one of the vendors. So, okay.
And yeah, that also fine. I'll check out if any other local community who are there are a few communities around Mumbai. If they are willing to provide stickers or e-swags, that will be good. I think
Great.
we are fine anyway for this.
Cool. Okay. Any other things you need from us as a community before we move on to talking about Japan and China? What's the dates for Japan, by the way? I don't see the dates on here for some reason.
I think July and 20
July
and 30.
29. Where's it? I've lost it. July 29. Okay, cool. So anyone's got any comments about KubeCon Japan and China? I don't think we're doing anything big there. I don't know though. Maybe I'm confused.
no, nothing. I think those are the updates that from Valentina applied for place for the booth in KubeCon Japan.
Okay, so have we got people who are definitely going to be there for that?
I don't know why I think there was like a thread in Slack, but I don't know like if someone specific will join.
Okay, someone had their hand up.
Yeah, myself and Antina from Red Hat, we are going probably to be there, so we can help with the Kubeflow booth.
Amazing. We should probably connect you to the people who apply for the booth. Do we have a booth applied? Did you say?
I think we did.
Yeah.
And that was the thread that we were responding to.
Okay, cool. So is there anything pending there? I guess not for yet, or until we get approved.
Yeah, exactly. Just waiting for the approval, and then we will create the same also like a sheet for stuffing the booth and so on. Yes.
Cool. Anything else for Japan? Because we've got a lot of. I just want to keep moving forward. So anything else here?
No, not for Japan.
For China?
No, that I haven't checked with Valentina about.
If someone can add the date and venue there, it'd be great. Okay, so I know that the most important one is now this virtual event, though. So Tarek, you've been working on this for ages. What's the current status?
Yeah, so tomorrow we should receive the site registration, and the CFP will be open. I can send because they mentioned that they will reach out to us prior, so that before launching the site itself, the event coordinators will check if everything looks good and so on before the site is open. But we haven't received the update, so I will reach out to them maybe today if they will send it for us for review or something. But site should be open tomorrow. That's what they communicated. But I'll follow up on that maybe today.
So we need to make sure that everyone who's on the call who wants to give a talk submits a CFP that we want as well.
Yeah. I mean, once we have the site registration and so on, we will promote this through the social media channels and also in Slack. So
we definitely need to reach out directly to people who we think will want to talk as well, right? Because otherwise people won't submit.
Yeah, I mean, we can reach out to the previous speakers from events, public ones, because we only see those who have talked before, but we don't know who have submitted and it was not passed or not accepted. So that we don't have access to even through Sessionize. So
my question for you is around do we submit CFPs for obviously we want to talk about notebooks V2. Do we have to submit a CFP for that, or is it just there's a section for the
yeah, so even if you let's say the working group leads as well, you can apply for the CFP, and so that would be, because otherwise it will it need to be Sessionized to be visible.
How long of an event is it?
So I think it the total number of hours is maybe 120 minutes of content. So based on the number of the submissions and the CFPs that will be accepted, then we will decide for how long the session could be and so on.
Cool. Okay, and so next steps for this is obviously wait till tomorrow. We'll share the things. If you have a talk that you want to give about Kubeflow, this is your chance to do it, because at other bigger events, sometimes Kubeflow can struggle to fit into specific tracks and things. So this is a great chance to both talk publicly, get your name out there, and if you have users, so we want mixture of users, right? Am I correct? We want users and
we want users, the maintainers, showcase something cool. That it's open for all, and it's covering variety of topics as well, from ML topics to GenAI topics. It's open for all kind of talks.
And this talk is and the event is in August 19th.
Yes, 19th. Yes.
What day is that of the week? Do you know?
Wednesday, if I remember correctly. And let me double check.
Cool. So we make sure that people are aware of that. It's going to be do you know vaguely what time as well? Okay, cool.
So it's 9th, Wednesday, and the time I think it was morning in US and
okay, cool. Okay, so any other talks about this? We've got a bunch of one more topic down here.
Yeah, that's all for the outreach site.
Amazing. Thanks you for everyone for your work here. I think Valentina isn't here right now, but let's go to the next one because everyone keeps trying to add this one. So there's I don't know whose topic it is because two different people had it on the agenda. But we're talking about having a GitHub Actions repo that's for common GitHub Actions. Is there a specific Andre or someone else? Did you want to? Whoever was asking.
Yeah, do we have Nilesh on the call?
Yeah, I'm here.
Nilesh, do you want to share a quick background around it?
Yeah, sure. So a few weeks ago, I raised this request up, and we also discussed this in this community call as well, that there are a bunch of things that different component teams are doing and creating common actions that are working for those components only. And I have given examples of some of the actions that are working for Kubeflow pipelines component as well. And I think if we do share this with other components can also find the usage and utility of these GitHub actions that they can then use within their components as well. So some of those examples could be centralizing how kind clusters are created and deployed. I haven't listed that here. Create cluster is of course here. So and then some of the actions also include standardizing a way we read and show that in a summarized view in GitHub. So those are some of the actions that I can think of. There are a few others as well. Maybe we can also have actions that sends out Slack messages to our Slack channel. People can create their own Slack channels as well. But common actions that every other component can reuse, so that they don't have to recreate all those things and as well as people do trust Kubeflow. So these actions can also be published and used by non-Kubeflow projects as well, because Kubeflow is a trusted resource that people can rely on. Because, like I was mentioning, that there are actions that we've written. Some of those actions were written by some folks privately on their own GitHub repo, but as a Kubeflow member, I didn't want to rely on someone's private repo, which is why we wrote it ourselves. And I think the community can get the goodness from those actions as well, if we have a common repo. So we were discussing this over Slack, and Chris also mentioned that he was also going to propose something similar, which is why I think you see multiple people proposing the same thing.
Yeah, I can give my perspective on this. I mean, I think this is great overall. I think the only, again, as Matthew said like before, who's going to maintain it. But I think if we can unify our efforts together, as a community to provide, set of blueprints and building blocks, because we've been migrating over the years through multiple test infra, from Google to Amazon to Oracle. But I think since we standardized on GitHub Actions, right now it's much easier to maintain, right? Because, like everyone is doing GitHub Actions, no matter like which computer we use. But, like having a way to unify some of the code, I think this is definitely what we should do, and I think with the agents, it will be much simpler and, faster to do. So it's 100% supporting this. I think the only question was how we ensure we need to kind of summarize what kind of things we run over like different components, right? Because we have front end, back end, we have some of the components run on Cube, some of the components maybe do some multiple CI/CD pipelines. Maybe starting with something simple would be good, but from my understanding, you could have one repo and you can serve multiple actions within this repo, right?
Yeah.
They're just
Okay.
folders in the end.
Okay.
But my main concern is like, do we actually have even a single case where we would actually want to share it between components? Like we already used for example, in notebooks, we already used the create cluster from upstream kind actions. I mean, I think it seems like there's maybe an extra feature you've got here, but could we just upstream that feature instead of, you know what I mean? Instead of, is that, is it at least in that case, but in other cases, it's like, okay, so are there other, the only one that I know is really useful for us that we use on all of our ones is the building and publishing of images. But like, I'm a little bit still, how many shared actions are we actually expecting to have? And is it better to just like pull them from the repo that they live in? Or is there a particular reason to put them all in the same repo?
Like Andrew was mentioning, it doesn't have to, like the code doesn't have to live within this repo. It can still have reference to the components repo as well, right? Which is what your concern is, right? So we can have a reference to a remote component as well.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm just more meaning like, is there a? I mean, I'll talk after. Akesh, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, Matthew, I think I agree. There are a lot of actions that we can leverage. I was checking out few orgs. So they actually use some of the similar actions which are common across their component. Even for us, for example, Trainer SDK use common E2E and G like a test, create cluster. Those also we can segregate into a single place. So I think even right now we have few examples, but once this is action, I think a lot of things that we kind of replicate, we can put it in a single place to reference it later.
Yeah, because
yeah, you go.
I just see this not only actions but also scripts. Like,
Right,
for example, we deploy GPU cluster with NV kind on trainer because we run GPU tests there, right? I mean, I would love for other, components to also run GPU tests if they want, right?
Yeah, because my main concern is like some of these are quite simple. You know what I mean? Like it seems like creating a package out of them seems like they end up more of it might be parameterizable necessarily parameterizable than you might expect. Like even just the version of Ubuntu might be important here for some cases, like it's kind of like I'm not sure for like I think the question is just around what goes into, if we do have one, what would go into it, and in which case, how much do we expect? Is it worth the effort? Is kind of that. Then it becomes like, okay, if it's only like 3 things, is it worth the effort, or can we just say pipeline's repo is the source of truth for that thing? You know what I mean? Like that's just kind of, or something. We could have a repo that points to the other repos, or more of like a rat if in that case, or But then I think there's always this risk where it's like you might need something slightly different than I need, and then I need to fork it in the end. And then it's like, well, we've just kind of gone back to the original state. Like a common dependency is a common source. It needs to work for everyone. So it either needs to be very parameterized or and so this is where like I'm still trying to understand exactly. I'm sure there is a case that's driving this, but I'm just like, so some of these, are interesting, right? So like these very generic things make sense, I think, but that's not even there. Okay. Um, interesting. Yeah, Andre, do you have thoughts on this, or other people have thoughts on
Maybe
this?
like, just like maybe you can at least summarize the commonality between components here, and then we can make a decision, like whether we want to use it from KFP or, like I mean, I don't see, like a problem for us to create a repo. I mean, we can start and see if it doesn't work for the community, we just, archive it. It's not really a big problem. I think for you guys, for KFP and pipelines components, you would like to share some of those, right?
But you can already do that from your main KFP repo, right? If you had to.
We currently are doing that, but the intention of this was that I think at that time when I created this ticket, I found a couple of other component repo that were duplicating the effort in their repos, and I think there was also a discussion about someone asking if this already exists or not.
I know in notebooks we have one very complicated set of actions as well, which are for managing how we do our Kanban stuff. So like we have this like labeling system to create sub issues and parent issues and things like that, so that people without super admin permissions can do that. But I don't know if other repos structure their issues the same. But
yeah. So I see Akash's heads up. So I think my recommendation is to enforce common practices across Kubeflow components. I understand, Matthew, like your intuition to have some sort of flexibility, and this is fine for specific components. But for example, like Trivi, right? What if in the future we're going to introduce new tool to replace Trivi to do security review? So I want this section to be in the one place, so everyone can reuse it, right? Similar to Trivi, like Fossa, right? What if we migrate to the Fossa GitHub Actions? We want to have a single Fossa source of truth, right? Which is common across all the repos.
But wouldn't that be the upstream one? That's like, this is like my question, right? Like, how is there ever a case? Because there's two kinds of actions as well. To be clear, there's the JavaScript one, which is just an actual JavaScript package, which is versioned by the repo, I think, and which has like an action.yaml at the root. .yml or something at the root. And then there's this kind of just reusable templated, like if we go to this one, where this is a
yeah, it's a reusable template, right? We use the same for template publish images, for example, this one, right?
Yeah, and we have one as well we have our own template publish image in notebooks as well, right? Yeah.
I still feel like there are some things we can unify, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. What are they? And so if they're, we need to identify them, and if they're worth the effort to do that. That's kind of, My other concern is the thing you presented as a feature might actually be a bug, which is that people might depend on them, if you know what I mean. Like that's kind of like that is actually maybe a problem for us. But yeah.
Yeah, so just to give an example of the uniqueness that we have in the create cluster action, is that this is doing a cleanup as first as well. I think a lot of people run into a disk space issue on GitHub Actions. So this is a well vetted script that we've written to clean up the disk before a cluster installation happens.
And you're caching the images somehow.
The images as well, yeah.
It's a good idea. Yeah, it's a clever idea. I mean, it needs to be done intentionally, though. Obviously, if you cache the wrong image, you might actually not test the image you're intending to test. But yeah.
Yeah, because we keep on running. So in our pipelines, we kept on running into API rate limit issues. So those are the things that we've resolved in this one. And with in the intention was that maybe other people are also running into this issue, and then they can.
So maybe it's more, as I was saying, a reference, right? Where it's like, this is very useful information for all the other working groups, but maybe I don't want to take this exact one, right? Like, and then the question becomes what Andre's saying. I see his argument as well. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but like, there could be a case where we have something that is really common that we just want everyone to depend on, right? That could also happen. Yeah. Akesh, you had your hand up.
Yeah, Matthew, I get the idea. I mean, it's like not very fruitful, but there are like a lot of future scope advantages. For example, the example which Andrew gave, that is good. Second thing, we depend on a lot of upstream repos. For example, even runners. And if you remember, there was an outage with one of runner. Now, issue is because of that, our trainer CI was failing. So in order to update that, we just updated the trainer repo. Now, suppose something like that unfortunately happens next time, the advantage of having a single place for these common actions will be like, and this will serve as source of truth. If you want to update anything or maybe just want to tinker a little bit, all the components are free to use their own action. Like that option will always be there. But for example, like creating cluster, or let's say creating GPU cluster, or something which is like publishing image, or even we have quite few like Python project as well. So a lot of them use a common step, or we use a common action. So this will serve as, from my understanding, like as a reference, which you can just copy and like drink a little bit and use it. As well as if you don't want any changes, you can just use directly. So I mean, I agree. Right now, there are a few cases, but once this goes in actually a repo, we can find much more use cases. If not always, we are free. Like each component is free to use their own actions.
I mean, we could go the other way and from a security perspective, only enable actions which are either on the approved list, ones that we trust from GitHub themselves, and ones that come from GitHub repos. Of course, you can put your own one in your own GitHub repo as well. But like that's like, because right now I think this one isn't even pinned. I mean, I think we talked about using hash pins from things, and but maybe if it comes from our own repo. But then the versioning only works if you have one repo. Anyway, I'm just kind of coming around to. So Andre, do you have any other comments here? We're a couple minutes over.
Yeah, I think Nilesh, let's just summarize this in a list of actions which may be common. I think we can bring this to the KSC. We can vote and make a decision and go forward, right? So sounds good. All right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's evaluate what the exact list is. Yeah. Is that a KEP then? Probably it's probably a KEP.
I don't think we need KEP here. I think just creation of the repo, but we can bring it to the KSC if you have any concerns, Matthew.
But who's the owners of the repo, for example?
Yeah, we can also make a decision, ad hoc. I don't think we really need to have a KEP for creation of these common repos. But
I think we literally have a requirement that says KEP for repos. But anyway, okay.
No, we don't actually.
We probably should.
You can bring also this as a case. Anyway, so yeah.
I can do the investigation and write up something.
Yeah. And I'm not against the idea in principle. It's just like I'm a little bit worried about how the execution will go. That's more what I'm worried about. Okay. So we haven't got really any time. So are any of these? I think I just copied them from last week. So are there any of these other topics, ones that we need to talk about right now, Andre, or anyone else?
No, let me talk about the cache next week. I think we have a lot of exciting updates we can share, but I will talk about it next Tuesday. So also need to drop surveys.
For this one. Okay. Oh yeah, for this. No, for which one?
We'll have some, data cache, next evolution for Kubeflow data.
Okay.
I will share this next week.
So that I can, I'll move that to the top. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks everyone. Anyone else got anything that urgently need to raise before we stop the recording? If not, thanks everyone.